before. David Trone and his companies gave $500,000 to extreme and MAGA Republicans to win their elections. And what did they do? In Texas, the Trump-loving governor signed an abortion ban with no exceptions for rape or incest. In Arizona, a Supreme Court banning abortion. Trone bragged his money would buy access. David Trone cares more about his bottom line than our rights. Women Vote is responsible for the content of this ad.
Your What to Wear forecast with Eileen Whalen weekday mornings on 7 News.
This is Weekend Adventure. When you see this symbol, you know you're watching a show that is specifically designed to be educational, informational, and entertaining.
Today on Hearts of Heroes, a Category 4 hurricane slams into the southwest coast of Florida.
For about 9 hours, 155-mile-an-hour winds. It was devastating.
Leaving catastrophic damage.
Fort Myers Beach essentially was wiped off the map that day.
People are just walking around the island in shock.
But heroes are on the way.
There was boats inside of houses. There was trucks hauled 3 miles off into the marsh. Our main job was to start to get people off the island.
These heroes bring saving lives to unimaginable heights.
When it comes to hurricanes, if authorities ask you to evacuate your home, it is critical that you listen. Because once a storm hits, it can be hours or even a full day before it's safe for the first responders to get to you. The storm can also wipe out the only accessible escape routes.
When Hurricane Ian destroyed a causeway linking Sanibel Island to mainland Florida, residents who rode out the storm found themselves trapped on the island. But thankfully, heroes were prepared to fly in and save the day.
Fort Myers is on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and in the heart of this community, you'll find Florida Southwestern College.
Florida Southwestern State College is the largest college in Southwest Florida. It has about 16,000 students.
We serve a vast population covering a 5-county area equivalent to the size of the state of Connecticut.
Being that we're the largest college in the area, we have a large impact on those surrounding us in the community.
Just off the coast of Fort Myers is the island of Sanibel. This sleepy community is home to about 6,000 people, and they've got a wealth of animals like birds, snakes, and alligators.
It's a sanctuary island, so the wildlife are protected there. So when no one is out and about, they come out.
The only thing connecting Sanibel to the mainland is one single bridge called the Sanibel Causeway.
That is the lifeline of Sanibel Island. That bridge.
In September of 2022, everyone began preparing for Hurricane Ian.
It was first reported that it wasn't even going to be close to Sanibel or this area, except for one model. One model seemed to always be right around us. So we prepared ourselves as it was going to be coming for us.
The students and staff of Florida Southwestern College started evacuating the campus.
We were preparing and planning to address the impact of the hurricane.
Meanwhile, police and fire departments on Sanibel Island began putting a plan into action.
We get all of the vehicles, our boats, patrol cars, everything off the island just in case anything happens to keep them safe and ready.
On September 28th, Hurricane Ian bludgeoned Fort Myers and Sanibel Island.
You're standing at the epicenter. This was ground zero.
This storm was 12 hours of eyes wide open, nonstop. We could see through the news media that the island was getting hit. And we saw how Fort Myers Beach was just getting hammered.
It was horrible seeing the families, our own staff climbing up to their attics as water rose in their homes. We had people's homes washed away.
Once the storm surge retreated, the extent of the destruction became clear.
Fort Myers Beach essentially was wiped off the map that day. Buildings just razed to the concrete foundation, just gone.
The campus of Florida Southwestern College took a major hit.
We had 30 roofs just ripped off, windows blown out, doors blown in, trees everywhere.
We had a significant amount of debris and damage across the campus where you could not transport or drive around the campus.
It took your breath away. You thought, how are we going to come back from this?
But Sanibel had even bigger problems. Not only were homes and buildings obliterated, but the storm had wiped out their lifeline.
You could not get from the land to the bridge. There was just nothing there. You couldn't drive. You could do nothing to get over that bridge.
To make matters worse, Ian knocked out all cell phone communication to the island. There was no way of knowing how many people were injured or needed help.
With the causeway wiped out, the only way to rescue the trapped residents would be by air.
It was shocking. It was like, what are we doing now?
Coming up, rescuers search for survivors.
There was boats inside of houses. There was trucks hauled 3 miles off into the marsh.
But first, a tip to keep you safe when your inner explorer comes out.
After a disaster, you'll likely see condemned or abandoned buildings. Keep in mind that it's dangerous to explore these structures.
Buildings get condemned for a variety of reasons. They often contain broken glass, harmful chemicals, jagged wood, or even stray panicked animals. Any of these hazards can cause considerable harm.
The rule is simple. If the sign says stay away, don't play.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like I was losing interest in the things I love. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Caplyta. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Caplyta is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Caplyta can cause serious side effects. Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Caplyta is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Report fever, confusion, or stiff muscles which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements which may be permanent. Common side effects include sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta. Find savings and support at caplyta.com.
With Purina One True Instinct, her true instincts really came alive. From day one, it's the high-protein nutrition she instinctively craves. It's making a real difference, supporting healthy energy and strong muscles. Purina One True Instinct is the food she was born to eat, helping her live the life she was born to live.
Purina One True Instinct, a difference from day one.
At Apartments.com, every time a new listing is added, we get this alert, so no. Okay, everybody goes. Ooh, that's not right. Apartments.com, the place to find a place.
Stem Light Trap attracts and traps flying insects without chemical insecticides. So no matter what the day cooks up for you, you're never bugged. Stem Light Trap.
Hi, I'm Katie. I live in Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm an older student. I'm getting my doctorate in clinical psychology. I do a lot of hiking and kayaking. I needed something to help me gain clarity. So I was in the pharmacy and I saw a display of Prevagen and I asked the pharmacist about it. I started taking Prevagen and I noticed that I had more cognitive clarity. Memory is better. It's been about 2 years now and it's working for me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
In August of 2022, Hurricane Ian slammed into the Florida coast. The bridge that connects Sanibel Island to the mainland was destroyed, leaving no way to get rescue vehicles to anyone who had stayed behind.
Right by the toll plaza, big hole. On the opposite end of a span, big hole. We knew that our work was cut out for us.
To get people off the island, they would need an elite search and rescue team. Enter the United States Coast Guard.
We got the call at 8 or 9 in the morning that we need to send everybody we have.
There was a whole island of people who had taken on catastrophic amounts of storm surge, and they were still stuck in their houses.
The phone lines were down, the power was down, so we weren't really getting any direct information.
A powerful storm can wipe out electricity and telephone service. So it's important to always have emergency supplies on hand, like flashlights, food, and water.
With no way to communicate with anyone who might be in trouble, the Coast Guard had to do flyover searches.
Most of our tasking was just to go over Sanibel Island and look for anyone who was in distress, in need of help, and could potentially use our help.
Once they reached the island, the crews saw the magnitude of the damage that Hurricane Ian had left behind.
There were homes on fire, collapsed homes, cars moved across streets, boats in places that I've never seen them before. The devastation was wild. Like picket fences, just toothpicks. Some houses had all walls ripped off. There was boats inside of houses. There was trucks hauled 3 miles off into the marsh. I've been in the Coast Guard for 14 years. I've done a ton of search and rescue, but I haven't responded to a hurricane of this magnitude. Our main job was to start to get people off the island.
But the floodwaters posed deadly threats.
I didn't know that alligators were on scene until we're flying over the neighborhoods looking for survivors, and I saw multiple, probably more than 10. Big predators, big animals.
Despite the dangers, they knew they had a mission to complete.
We got to a point where we were canvassing the neighborhoods and just looking for people signaling.
It didn't take long to find people in jeopardy.
The first people that we hoisted were an elderly couple.
That couple didn't have power or cell service, and they didn't even realize that the bridge had collapsed and that they were completely stuck on Sanibel Island.
So, rescue swimmer Tyler Kilbane was lowered into a clearing.
All the trees around their house had fallen, so to get in, I had to climb up and under big tree trunks and through a broken sliding glass window. You got a pair of shoes with you?
Tyler was able to get the couple out of their house and prepare to hoist them up on the chopper.
I was able to get the wife loaded with her bag, send her up safely, and then to send the basket back down. I was able to load him up and send him up safely, and then they'll just send me the bear hook and I'll hook into my harness. Come on up.
The crew dropped the couple off at an evacuation point on the mainland, but as they started to head back, they saw more people in danger in Fort Myers.
We came across a man walking down a street of a mobile home park, and he was probably chest to shoulder deep of just black water. We thought, oh man, this could definitely be something. This was probably one of the most challenging hoists during the day. The trailer park had about 2 to 3 feet of standing water. There was debris in the water.
The water was very dark. We couldn't really see what was under there.
They were able to lower Tyler down to a safe location where he made contact with the man.
Getting on scene, talking to the man, he was shivering. He'd been in the water for probably 6 or 7 hours, walking around, checking on his neighbors.
The man let Tyler know that he, his wife, and their 4 cats needed rescue, but getting them out would be a challenge.
This was very difficult because a basket is made to be hoisted on dry land, but when the water's 3 to 4 foot deep, it's difficult because I don't have a place to set the basket. So it's going to be loud and you're going to get a little cold in the water, but we're getting you right to a shelter, all right?
Tyler found an area with shallow water. He carefully placed the basket down and started the hoist.
I set the basket in position and loaded the wife and one kennel with a cat in with her, and she's very terrified.
Tyler sent the woman and her cat up in the basket. Next, he sent the husband with 2 more cats. They flew the family to safety, but on the next trip to Sanibel, sunset was approaching and time was running out.
It was probably about an hour until sunset, and we knew there were still tons of people that needed help.
Coming up,
fish and sharks. Different wildlife had entered homes, and these people were desperate.
But first, a tip should you ever want to pay it forward to first responders near you.
If you've been looking for a way to give back to your community, consider contacting your local fire department and asking about volunteer opportunities.
Many fire stations, especially volunteer departments, are often looking for community help. Whether it's logistics support, administrative assistance, fundraising, or community outreach, your help is often needed.
The commitment to being part of the first responder community is considerable. But this much is true. The positive impacts are immeasurable.
I have moderate to severe Crohn's disease. Now there's Skyrizi.
Things are looking up, I've got symptom relief. Control of my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi is the first IL-23 inhibitor that can deliver remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And the majority of people experienced long-lasting remission at 1 year.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur.
Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Liver problems may occur in Crohn's disease.
Now's the time to ask your gastroenterologist how you can take control of your Crohn's with Skyrizi.
Control is everything to me.
Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
When anyone in this house wears white, it doesn't stay white for long. White to art class? That's risky.
Art has no rules, Mom.
White with coffee.
A dangerous endeavor.
White to soccer?
I'm not gonna slide tackle. He's gonna slide tackle.
But now with Tide Oxy White, we can clean our white clothes without using bleach. Even works on colors.
I slide tackled.
I see that. Keep your whites white even without bleach with Tide Oxy White. We got this.
Hey, it's your dry skin. Every day we lose ceramides I need to seal in moisture. CeraVe delivers 3 essential ceramides to help restore my barrier so I can lock in moisture, feel hydrated, and look healthy. CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Lotions.
When I want to feel my most powerful, it starts with Venus. With 5 ultra-sharp blades and water-activated serums for incredible glide, I feel the difference with every stroke. Feel the power of smooth.
New Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm. Easy to grip and massage and the power of 2 max strength pain relievers. Ice works fast, heat makes it last. New Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm.
Beneful knows a full life doesn't just happen. It's a choice. To take a swing, to taste all life has to offer. Choose joy. Choose Beneful. And try Incredibites, just for small dogs.
Apartments.com has helped millions of renters find their places, and they all have a special place in my heart, which is why I keep a picture of each and every one of them in my wallet. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, holy cat. Wow. Oh, hey, I know all these people. There's Sally, and there's Billy.
I'm thinking.
Oh, you know you can put these on your phone, right?
And miss all this fun? Apartments.com, the place to find a place.
Closed captioning provided by.
My late father-in-law lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had AMD. I didn't know it then, but it can progress to GA, an advanced form of the disease. His struggle with vision loss from AMD made me want to help you see warning signs of GA, like hazy or blurred vision, so it's hard to see fine details. Colors that appear dull or washed out. Or trouble with low light. That makes driving at night a real challenge. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to gawon'twait.com.
After Hurricane Ian wiped out the bridge connecting Sanibel Island to Florida's mainland, the U.S. Coast Guard flew into action to rescue those trapped on the island.
I was covering Ian from the end of that very causeway, and I watched as the destruction extended for miles along the coast of southwest Florida. Rescues became a multi-agency endeavor. These first responders, though, would need a place to call home, and that is where Florida Southwestern College came to the rescue.
In the hours following Hurricane Ian, Coast Guard crews were flying in to get victims off Sanibel Island.
We're fuel limited, so when we're on scene, we have 10, 12, 15 minutes on scene.
Adrenaline definitely starts climbing as your fuel gauge goes further and further towards empty. We were running low on fuel, and we were about to turn around to go to the airport, and they saw somebody on a roof.
Tyler saw a young man standing on the roof of a home, waving a sheet of metal, and it caught our eye.
This one was a pretty confined area. There was tall trees, tall houses, a lot of debris, and a lot of flooding. We didn't want to get the survivors into any deep flooding areas. They had fish and sharks. Different wildlife had entered homes, and these people were desperate.
We immediately sent Tyler down to effect a rescue.
We hoisted Tyler down to a small piece of land in the front yard of this house.
It was the grandson, his grandmother, and a dog. They didn't have water, they didn't have food.
The boy explained that his grandma and him had stuck around for the whole night. and they were ready to get off the island.
Is there anybody else? No, it's us two off. No one is dead.
He made the decision to send up the elderly woman first.
She was a little bit in shock. Are you ready to go for a ride? Obviously, in the helicopter, we can't really speak too much, but I could see on her face that she was a little shocked at some of the things that were going on.
Her grandson and the dog followed together in the basket after she was already safely in the cabin. But at that point, we probably had about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get them away so that we could go get fuel.
As the team came back to base for fuel, Sanibel's police and fire departments knew that they needed boots on the ground.
One of the biggest challenges was figuring out a way to get the first responders over to the island.
There's a group of us that met where we keep our boat. And we picked up the fire department chief and the assistant chief, and we all go over and we just start doing whatever we have to do, just assessing. People are just walking around the island in shock.
The first thing they needed to do was ferry people off the island.
We start getting everybody to the boat ramp and we start getting people off the island.
But in order to help more victims, they would need their emergency vehicles, which were still on the mainland.
The problem that we needed to solve was to be able to get the vehicles over to the island so that the police department and fire department could do their job.
That's when our sponsor, Belfort Property Restoration, stepped in.
We brought in local vendors that had barges. We brought in the right equipment, and we barged everything over for the fire department, for the police department, so they were able to start doing their job again.
It was wonderful seeing that barge come across. And seeing that come across with all the other police cars on there was amazing.
Police and fire could now help people on the ground. Meanwhile, the Coast Guard kept making rescues from the air.
It was just an amazing thing to see them just hover and just drop down. One Coast Guard, another one, another one. Words can't really.
Back in 4 years, Florida Southwestern set up an emergency food hurricane.
The college, community-oriented college, we've always catered to the needs of community, our staff, our faculty.
But still, they wanted more.
Even though our campus was not usable for educational purposes, we had the ability to have space for the tactical vehicles, the swamp buggies, and next thing you know, we had 700 policemen and firemen sleeping in our arena underneath the bleachers at night.
Coming up, Florida Southwestern College is converted into an emergency command post.
We had helicopters and swamp buggies. It was something to see.
Type 2 diabetes?
Discover the Ozempic Trizone. Ozempic! I got the power of 3. I lowered my A1C, CD risk, and lost some weight.
In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
I'm under 7.
Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death in adults also with known heart disease.
I'm lowering my risk.
Adults lost up to 14 pounds.
I lost some weight.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
Ask about the power of 3 with Ozempic.
You're invited to Ashley's Memorial Day preview sale. Get early access to our biggest selection of hot buys, cool deals. Plus, get 0% interest for 60 months with no minimum purchase on all in-store purchases. The best Memorial Day furniture deals are happening now at Ashley.
The power of a skin filler inspires hair repair. New Fructis hair filler system with vitamin CG fills hair with strength 7 layers deep. Reverses up to 1 year of damage in one use. New Fructis hair filler by Garnier.
Stem Light Trap attracts and traps flying insects without chemical insecticides. So no matter what the day cooks up for you, you're never bugged. Stem Light Trap.
Why are you here? To find a place to rent. I know renters when I see them. Apartments.com. We can help you get into a lovely 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom. I don't want to presume anything. Apartments.com. The place to find a place.
Nothing dims my light like a migraine. With Nurtec ODT, I found relief.
the only migraine medication that helps treat and prevent all in one.
To those with migraine, I see you.
For the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura and the preventive treatment of episodic migraine in adults. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after using. Most common side effects were nausea, indigestion, and stomach pain.
It's time we all shine. Talk to a healthcare provider about Nurtec ODT from Pfizer.
After Hurricane Ian ravaged southwestern Florida in 2022, hundreds of first responders descended onto Fort Myers to help with the rescue and recovery. But the city was torn to pieces, so there was no place to house them or the necessary vehicles and equipment. Florida Southwestern College stepped up.
We were contacted by the statewide Emergency Operations Center, and since we're so close to Fort Myers Beach, we worked in partnership with them to invite all first responders across the state to come and stay at our campus.
Even though the college had sustained immeasurable damage, they used whatever resources they had available to help their devastated community.
We had some buildings untouched, and that allowed us to be the epicenter for the recovery efforts of a lot of the first responders, the police, the fire, and the staging area. All those first responder agencies, which was a total of 18 at the time, they were housed in our arena that was fully powered. We had helicopters and swamp buggies. They were out there doing a lot of search and rescue for many days, and the helicopters were flying out of here, and we were the central point. It was surreal to see us become this right in the middle of a war zone.
Florida Southwestern College did all they could to help the community, but with so much damage to their campus, they needed help too.
It was somewhere north of $20 million of damage just on this one campus alone. Tremendous repairs had to go on.
After the storm, our sponsor, Belfour, began the rebuilding process.
Almost every building in here had some kind of damage, from a roof off to a window out to leaks, wind-driven rain. We noticed several roofs that were blown off from the high winds that came through. We noticed several trees down, palm trees. We noticed fences blown over, debris everywhere in the parking lots.
Within 4 months, Belfour accomplished a significant amount of work to get us open.
The progress on this campus, we're 90% complete. We've got a couple roofs left to do. We've got some sidewalks we need to finish.
In the days and weeks following Hurricane Ian, so many heroes stepped up, including Florida Southwestern College, whose selfless contribution was instrumental in assisting the rescue and recovery.
I think that's what's unique about us. That's kind of our DNA. That's who we are. We are rooted in this region, so it seemed natural.
Fort Myers and Sanibel Island can also thank the brave heroes of the U.S. Coast Guard, who tirelessly scoured the area, searching for survivors and saving countless lives. A short time after the challenging events, Sheldon Yellen from our sponsor Belfour Property Restoration joined the rescue team to get a first-hand look at the dangers of that job.
Wow, I can really see how you can miss somebody in distress here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really hard to see from the sky, even in perfect condition.
And time is of the essence, and all of a sudden, you're struggling to actually see who needs you.
Yeah, it's the first challenge is even finding the people that need our help.
Signaling is really important, and whether it's a white sheet or a white cloth or a flashlight or the flashlight on your cell phone or a metal object or a mirror that can give a reflective signal is critically important.
It is critically important to have something that will catch our eye from the sky to let us know, hey, I'm in trouble and I need some assistance.
I do this because I enjoy being able to give back to the community. Being able to protect people, I think, is important.
Ever since I was young, I knew I was here to help people. That's kind of my life's work. That's what I love to do. It gives me the opportunity to make a change and to bring impact and hopefully save a life.
Dr. Scott Miller cares for all kinds of creatures.
Good boy.
And he'll go above and beyond to make sure these animals are in good hands.
This is something that is going to change his life forever.
On The Great Dr. Scott, part of Weekend Adventure.
Disasters can often bring communities closer together with a common goal of helping those in need.
With strength and resilience, the people and first responders of Fort Myers and Sanibel Island proved that when you work together for common good, anything is possible.
And it's been good having you with us.
We'll see you next time, right here on Hearts of Heroes.
thank you for watching 7 News on your side.
This is Weekend Adventure. When you see this symbol, you know you're watching a show that is specifically designed to be educational, informational, and entertaining.
Today on Wildlife Nation Expedition Florida, we embark on a giant adventure in the Sunshine State. First, we study an elusive Florida black bear. Our adventure continues with a serene voyage searching for the majestic manatee. And later, we travel down the beautiful Santa Fe River, where we encounter Florida's ultimate giant turtle. Heavy. That is crazy. I'm Jeff Corwin. Wildlife Nation is dedicated to conserving the natural wonders of North America. And now, we're teaming up with the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida to safeguard the vibrant wilderness of the Sunshine State. We'll explore this region's diverse landscapes and extraordinary creatures as we work alongside the passionate conservationists dedicated to protecting them. This is Wildlife Nation Expedition Florida. Today, we're venturing deep into the untamed habitats of Florida in search of its largest animal species. Like the American alligator, one of the last remaining giant reptiles that has roamed this planet for millions of years. Or the endangered Florida panther, a powerful and iconic apex predator. But our journey begins in the Everglades, where I'm teaming up with the Miccosukee Tribe's wildlife team on a very unique and important mission to collar a Florida black bear.
This journey is all about trying to get this important information to protect the very elusive Florida black bear. But we struck gold because a mighty, brawny bear has found his way.
We've got a big boy stuck in the trap.
All right, so how do we want to do this?
I'm going to go up with one other person, put it to sleep, tranquilize it, and then we'll pull it out and start collecting data.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
So if you've ever wondered if they have ginormous black bears in Florida, there's your answer.
Do you think you could just move there, Jeff, and maybe pull his attention?
In this incredibly tense moment, we witness the bear's instinctual defense mechanism, marked by the distinctive chuffing sounds it makes.
You go this side again?
Yeah. Just distract him a little bit.
It's important to remember that once tranquilized and equipped with our data collecting collar, this bear will become a crucial participant in our conservation mission.
It's funny, he knows.
He knows. Yeah.
He knows it's you.
Do that again, Jeff.
Get it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, let's go down.
All right.
After a few minutes, our bear appears to be asleep, so we gear up and move in. With utmost care, we ensure the bear's sedation is complete.
We want to make sure it's perfectly and safely sedated.
Then we carefully slide the bear from the trap, giving us the space we need to conduct our vital conservation research. This bear is enormous. We begin with a weight.
1, 2, 3.
380.
So, mission success. We have a very, very big bear. So much information to get. And what's so awesome is that it is perfect for one of these high-tech collars. We're gonna get this data. We're gonna move quick, get this collar on, and this amazing bear will feed us information to protect North America's most important river of grass.
As always, the team monitors the bear's vitals while we collect this important data.
So you can see what we've done is we've covered up the eyes. That's to protect the eyes and most importantly, cut off the stimulation to make this as stress-free as possible. But Greg, I'm noticing something peculiar when I look at the lower jaw.
Oh yeah, look at that. Looks like an old injury.
So I think this animal at some point busted its lower jaw. It just goes to show you how tough they are, that they can survive out in this scrappy wilderness.
With an injury like that.
So we're gonna get that collar on. Greg, why is this work so important?
And this work is so important because at one time bears were very low in number and they're making a comeback. And we don't know how they utilize the Everglades. And so this research is going to inform us what habitats are important to them with Everglades restoration.
What's so exciting about the black bear population of Florida is that it is increasing. What's kind of scary is that, as we've discovered, the Everglades is in trouble. More than 1,000 people move here every day, and as the human population increases, animals like this, they get displaced. So how do we find that balance? People get to enjoy beautiful Florida, and these incredible, iconic creatures can thrive equally as well. This research will determine that. It's kind of finding that balance of that it's loose enough that the bear, if it gains weight, it's not going to be too tight. At the same time, we don't want it so loose that a branch will get snagged in there and cause this animal any problems.
This here is like an electronic release.
Right.
So as soon as we finish the study, the bear's not, we don't have to catch him again. We can just automatically release it.
Which is really cool. It used to be you'd have a special type of metallic release that it would have to corrode over time to pop. When this collar has lived its battery lifespan, it'll pop off, it'll send out a signal, a GPS signal, we'll retrieve it, and this bear will be no worse for wear. Now we're going to get those critical body measurements, what we call the biometrics.
That includes full measurements, head size, tooth measurements, all sorts of data to give us insight into the mysterious wild world of the Florida black bear.
So we're ready to wake him up, guys. So if there's any last-minute data, let's collect it as quickly as we can, and let's get this boy back on his feet and into the woods.
All right.
We deliver the reversal so we can make sure it wakes up and continues its life in the incredible Miccosukee Everglades.
Hector, why do you think this work is so important?
This work is so important because it tells us as a tribe what we need to work on in the natural landscape of our home.
Greg, how important is it for the Miccosukee community to ensure that this species survives?
This is a very important cultural animal for the Miccosukee tribe.
It's about the legacy of the river of grass. It's about the people that depend on this resource and who are the stewards of today to ensure that this legacy survives for tomorrow. Awesome. This way.
Up next, we come face to face with massive marine mammals.
So that's Divine, and she's pregnant.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like I was losing interest in the things I love. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Capilita. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Capilita is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Capilita can cause serious side effects. Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Capilita is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Report fever, confusion, or stiff muscles which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements which may be permanent. Common side effects include sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Capilita can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Capilita. Find savings and support at capilita.com.
With Purina One True Instinct, her true instincts really came alive. From day one, it's the high-protein nutrition she instinctively craves. It's making a real difference, supporting healthy energy and strong muscles. Purina One True Instinct is the food she was born to eat, helping her live the life she was born to live.
Purina One True Instinct, a difference from day one.
At apartments.com, every time a new listing is added, we get this alert, so no. Okay, everybody goes. Ooh, that's not right. Apartments.com, the place to find a place.
STEM Light Trap attracts and traps flying insects without chemical insecticides. So no matter what the day cooks up for you, you're never bugged. STEM Light Trap.
Hi, I'm Katie. I live in Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm an older student. I'm getting my doctorate in clinical psychology. I do a lot of hiking and kayaking. I needed something to help me gain clarity. So I was in the pharmacy and I saw a display of Prevagen and I asked the pharmacist about it. I started taking Prevagen and I noticed that I had more cognitive clarity. Memory is better. It's been about 2 years now and it's working for me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Today, I'm discovering Florida's giants, and that includes the threatened Florida manatee.
It is a glorious morning here on the pristine Silver River. I'm with Monica Ross, and she's a biologist with Clearwater Marine Aquarium, their research institute. Her passion, manatees. What are we going to do today?
Today we're going to go up the river and hope we will find some manatees.
Monica has some incredible technology aboard that we're going to use to better understand the connection that manatees have to this amazing ecosystem. So let's go find a manatee. Let's do it.
Let's go find them.
The goal of Monica's important research is to identify which manatees are drawn to these waters and why. By employing photo documentation and comparisons with other warm water refuges, she aims to determine the factors influencing manatee migration patterns. Her work is key to solving migration mysteries and guiding efforts to protect these amazing creatures.
One of them is named Osaka. I can tell because of the scar pattern.
So what's interesting, and we've seen this with a lot of the conservation research projects with manatees, is distinctively they have their own fingerprint, but unfortunately it's from boat strikes.
I'm not sure who the other one is. It's got a lot of scarring on the tail, so it looks like cold stress. They get cold just like we do. They'll start turning white, and pieces of them will actually fall off, just like our fingers will if you get frostbite.
Oh, my goodness.
Parts of their tail will eventually die off because they don't have blood flow. All right, so go ahead and put this in the water just below the surface.
Okay.
And you can kind of point it towards the animal, and while you're pointing, very slowly go up and down and side to side.
So this is a great way to not only get underwater identification, but it also allows us in real time to assess the body condition, the health of this animal.
As we continue, Monica and I encounter numerous beautiful manatees.
So if you notice, he just turned to us. We are 30 feet away, and he's already noticed us.
Each manatee reveals unique aspects for their struggle for survival.
I think what's so fascinating about manatees is their evolutionary journey.
One of their closest living relative is an elephant. So they actually are an animal that went from land back into the water.
So that's Divine, and she's pregnant.
Yes.
It's great to see that she's pregnant. She has another calf that's floating around. Gotta love manatees. Amazing. To be here in this moment, surrounded by manatees, they're healthy, they're feasting away, it gives you hope. But manatees face incredible challenges to survive. Right now, we may have lost 20% of our native population of Florida manatees. What are the struggles today?
Unfortunately, the primary thing today is the fact that the amount of food that they have in the wild has diminished. It's primarily due to some type of algal bloom that has caused the vegetation to die off. What's causing the die-off of vegetation is associated with human activity.
Without that food, these manatees can starve to death. They need to eat how much percentage of their body weight a day?
At least 10% of their body weight a day.
150 pounds of food every day. They are losing habitat, issues of pollution, and boat strikes. You take all that together, it's a lot of pressure on these animals. But thankfully, everyone is coming together as a team because Florida would not be Florida without the manatee.
Up next, we take a boat ride to catch and study reptilian behemoths.
Oh my gosh, look at the size of this thing!
I have moderate to severe Crohn's disease. Now there's Skyrizi,
Things are looking up, I've got symptom relief. Control of my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi is the first IL-23 inhibitor that can deliver remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And the majority of people experience long-lasting remission at 1 year.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Liver problems may occur in Crohn's disease.
Now's the time to ask your gastroenterologist how you can take control of your Crohn's with Skyrizi.
Control is everything to me.
Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
When anyone in this house wears white, it doesn't stay white for long. White to art class? That's risky.
Art has no rules, Mom.
White with coffee?
A dangerous endeavor.
White to soccer? I'm not gonna slide tackle.
He's gonna slide tackle.
But now with Tide Oxy White, we can clean our white clothes without using bleach. Even works on colors. I slide tackled. I see that. Keep your whites white even without bleach with Tide Oxy White. We got this.
Hey, it's your dry skin. Every day we lose ceramides I need to seal in moisture. CeraVe delivers 3 essential ceramides to help restore my barrier so I can lock in moisture, feel hydrated, and look healthy. CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Lotions.
When I want to feel my most powerful, it starts with Venus. With 5 ultra-sharp blades and water-activated serums for incredible glide, I feel the difference with every stroke. Feel the power of smooth.
New Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm. Easy to grip and massage and the power of 2 max strength pain relievers. Ice works fast, heat makes it last. New Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm.
Beneful knows a full life doesn't just happen. It's a choice. To take a swing, to taste all life has to offer. Choose joy. Choose Beneful. And try Incredibites, just for small dogs.
Apartments.com has helped millions of renters find their places, and they all have a special place in my heart, which is why I keep a picture of each and every one of them in my wallet. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, holy cat. Wow. Oh, hey, I know all these people. There's Sally, and there's Billy.
I'm thinking.
Oh, you know you can put these on your phone, right?
And miss all this fun? Apartments.com, the place to find a place.
Closed captioning provided by...
My late father-in-law lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had AMD. I didn't know it then, but it can progress to GA, an advanced form of the disease. His struggle with vision loss from AMD made me want to help you see warning signs of GA, like hazy or blurred vision, so it's hard to see fine details. Colors that appear dull or washed out. Or trouble with low light. That makes driving at night a real challenge. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
I'm on a remarkable journey through Florida, discovering this state's wild giants. Now, we meander down the enchanting Santa Fe River and the Suwannee River Basin. I'm joining the Santa Fe River Turtle Project, a group striving to safeguard the astonishing and enormous Suwannee alligator snapping turtle for future generations.
So strategically, throughout this river system, we've positioned these hoop nets. Now, because they're alligator snappers, everything's over the top. Bigger nets for bigger turtles. They've been baited, they've sat overnight, but this is feast or famine. We either got turtles or we don't. And I'm seeing something very big. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at the size of this thing. That's it. Oh my gosh. So, are we good? We unhooked? Yeah, we can. We unhook here. All right, 1, 2, 3. Man, it's heavy. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. So there he is, my friends, and we think this is a young male. Behold the Suwannee River alligator snapping turtle. This is a unique representation of what makes this ecosystem so spectacular. And as you look at him, Jerry, you start to see the nuances, what makes him different, what makes him so special.
Well, the one physical feature we can see that distinguishes them from all the other alligator snapping turtles is at the back. This U right here, when you went to pick up the turtle,
right,
you could put all 4 fingers there.
Right.
That broad U shape is something we only see here.
And any function for that you can think of?
Not that we know of.
But it's a very distinctive characteristic that tells us this is the amazing Suwannee alligator snapper.
Absolutely.
And, of course, when they get this big, no predators messes with a big turtle like this.
Nothing.
Except I can think of one predator.
Humans.
But just an incredible species.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of data we need to get from these animals.
Yep.
They have an incredible story to tell. So we're going to secure our turtle, hopefully, get some little guys to compare. But even more hopefully, we'll get that giant, that mega alligator snapper.
Perhaps our next catch will unveil new fascinating details of these magnificent river dwellers.
So this is a smaller one. Jerry, the males are bigger.
Yeah, every alligator snapper over 100 pounds is male.
Really?
Yep.
I'm gonna pull them in.
There we go.
So far, we're doing swimmingly with this Suwannee alligator snapper. We've had 2 traps, 2 turtles, 4 more traps to check. And yep, another one.
Another marked one, too.
Wow, it's actually bigger. This is our biggest turtle so far.
It's a big male. Yeah.
My friends, this is what Expedition Florida is all about. It is to tell the story of incredible creatures like this.
Our last 2 traps don't yield any more turtles, but today's adventure has been nothing short of extraordinary.
We got some beautiful specimens. One is ginormous. What's the plan, Jerry?
Now we're going to go back and we're going to take some really important data, and this is where the science really begins.
Coming up next, we'll dive into the ecology of these ancient river dwellers.
Type 2 diabetes?
Discover the Ozempic Trizone. Ozempic! I got the power of 3. I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight.
In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
I'm under 7.
Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death in adults also with known heart disease.
I'm lowering my risk.
Adults lost up to 14 pounds.
I lost some weight.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
Ask about the power of 3 with Ozempic.
You're invited to Ashley's Memorial Day preview sale. Get early access to our biggest selection of hot buys, cool deals. Plus, get 0% interest for 60 months with no minimum purchase on all in-store purchases. The best Memorial Day furniture deals are happening now at Ashley.
The power of a skin filler inspires hair repair. New Fructis hair filler system with vitamin CG fills hair with strength 7 layers deep. Reverses up to 1 year of damage in one use. New Fructis hair filler by Garnier.
Stem Light Trap attracts and traps flying insects without chemical insecticides. So no matter what the day cooks up for you, you're never bugged. Stem Light Trap.
Why are you here? To find a place to rent. I know renters when I see them. Apartments.com. We can help you get into a lovely 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom. I don't want to presume anything. Apartments.com. The place to find a place.
Nothing dims my light like a migraine. With Nurtec ODT, I found relief.
The only migraine medication that helps treat and prevent all in one.
To those with migraine, I see you.
For the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura and the preventive treatment of episodic migraine in adults. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after using. Most common side effects were nausea, indigestion, and stomach pain.
It's time we all shine. Talk to a healthcare provider about Nurtec ODT from Pfizer.
I'm working with my good friend, Dr. Jerry Johnston, and his team from the Santa Fe River Turtle Project. Here, the remarkable Sewanee alligator snapping turtle is an ancient reminder of this area's rich natural history. We've captured gigantic individuals. Now, we're about to gather important conservation data from these incredible creatures.
So guys, it's this creature right here, the alligator snapping turtle, that really inspired my love for nature. Ancient species. They've been on Earth since before the dinosaurs. First thing we notice is if you look in the back, you can see these holes. And you guys did that as a mark and recapture, so you know who this is.
So it's an individual identification. Yep.
And of course, today we have microchips. If this animal doesn't have a microchip, it will get a microchip. But there's so many interesting things about the behavior and the life ecology of these turtles. First of all, once they hatch out of an egg, they have a long way to go before they can replace themselves.
15 to 20 years to reach sexual maturity.
So why does that matter? With many turtle species, that matters because that animal needs to be on this earth for up to 2 decades before it can actually be successful. And if that animal gets pulled out,
it's not replaced within our lifetimes.
If you remove a healthy adult turtle like this, it can take up to a century for that ecosystem to replace that turtle. When you add up the chances that 40 eggs, one of them will become an adult and reproduce itself, it's got to win the turtle lottery.
This is a lottery winner.
Incredible. Big male. Something else is cool. If you look inside the mouth, imagine this sunken down like an anvil surrounded by vegetation. It becomes invisible, so it's an ambush predator. And if you look inside, you will see that little lure right above where the glottis is, where it's breathing in that tube for breathing. You'll see that enticing little invitation. How does that lure work?
It's basically an extension of the tongue. That's essentially a fishing lure.
So it literally uses that perfect mimicry of a squirming worm.
Small fish will come to investigate, and when they get too close,
goes in for a quick meal,
chomp,
gets its last meal.
We finish up with some more biometrics, including a weight.
94 pounds. 94 pounds. That is a mighty, mighty big turtle, but it could have another 60 or 70 pounds to go.
Definitely.
What are the threats that they face? What are the conservation concerns?
So there are multiple threats that these animals face, and they're all related to the activities of us, of humans. That gives us the power to actually help these animals. And the solutions in this case are really quite simple. If we were to just leave them alone, they're fine.
You protect this habitat, you keep it robust, dynamic, and resilient, this species will thrive for the next 5 million years.
Up next, we reveal a remarkable discovery with our final Sewanee alligator snapping turtle.
Incredible.
Yeah, this is great.
When disaster strikes, it takes a hero to save the day. You are about to see some stories of true heroes.
I've always just wanted to be there to help other people.
Hearts of Heroes, part of Weekend Adventure.
Run a conservation mission with Dr. Jerry Johnston and his team from the Santa Fe River Turtle Project. We've had both a successful and memorable day capturing Sewanee alligator snapping turtles, each one providing unique insight into their mysterious world for this important conservation project. Now we're gearing up to study our final turtle, an older female.
So, Kim, what are you doing?
I am doing an ultrasound. We're actually looking to see if she's producing any follicles to prepare for breeding season.
So now is the breeding season, right?
Yep.
Just beginning right now. Just beginning?
And we have follicles.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you see the little round balls?
Oh, wow, look at that. Those little balls, is that what we're looking at?
Yep, those little balls are follicles. So those will soon be eggs. So once she breeds, they'll be fertilized and will become eggs.
Incredible.
Yeah, this is great.
Every Sewanee alligator snapper counts. They all matter. The females, they're very valuable, aren't they?
This is where the reproduction happens. Like, the next generation comes from these individuals.
And this beautiful mama, she could be many decades older than us.
Guaranteed.
Incredible. What's next for these turtles?
Most important thing, they all go back home right where we caught them.
We have our incredible information towards conservation to ensure that this incredible creature, the Sewanee alligator snapper, survives for generations to come. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that.
Thank you for watching 7 News on your side.
Coming up, this Indiana farm teaches visitors about agriculture while meeting America's demand for dairy. The Heartland harvest in Mississippi is acres and acres of catfish. And farmers in the Garden State get help from the government to protect their land from urban expansion. America's Heartland is next.
You can see it in the eyes of every woman and man in America's heartland, living close to the land. There's a love for the country and a pride in the brand in America's heartland, living close to the land. In America's heartland.
Hello and welcome to America's Heartland. I'm Paul Ryan. On our travels throughout the Heartland, we've visited small farms, big farms, and really big farms. But there are some that, in size anyway, simply defy classification. Take the one we're visiting in the state of Indiana. It's a dairy farm that alone produces enough milk for some 8 million people. There are so many cows that an average of 80 calves are born there every day. Add to that the fact that the public's invited in to see it all, and you have one of the Heartland's more mind-boggling experiences. It's about an hour south of Chicago, and believe me, it's hard to miss. Just off I-65, the big barns and the cow on the sign give it away. At first glance, Fair Oaks Farms Adventure Center might make you think that this was the Disneyland of dairy. There are animatronic figures touting the benefits of milk. Skeletons that race up the wall to stress the importance of calcium.
Yogurt, an outstanding food.
All part of interactive exhibits on the process of producing milk. But Fair Oaks Farm is not just infotainment. It's one of the largest working dairy farms in the country. Set on 25,000 acres, the farm will milk 32,000 cows a day.
We wanted to be able to give people a snapshot into the world of 21st century agriculture. We wanted to educate people as to what's happening, but in an entertaining way. We thought it was really a great opportunity to open up our farms, open up what we do here, and let people have a snapshot of what farming looks like, at least from our perspective.
Leaving Fair Oaks Farms Adventure Center, visitors board buses to tour one of 10 dairy barns, each milking more than 3,000 cows.
We produce on Fair Oaks Farms about 2.5 million pounds of milk a day. That's enough milk to meet all the fluid milk needs, drinking milk needs, of, say, the city of Chicago plus the city of Indianapolis.
And how do you milk that many cows? Well, these Holsteins do a lot of the work themselves. 3 times a day, they stroll over to a holding pen and then walk onto a 72-cow carousel, where they are hooked up and milked.
The milking time takes about 8.5 minutes. The carousel makes a trip every 8.5 minutes. They milk out in about 5 minutes. They'll get on, be milked, and get off, and away they go, and they'll start the process all over again. One of the unique things that we like, or a couple of the unique things we like about the carousel, is one, it brings the work to us rather than we have to go to the work. 2, we really like the cow comfort.
Milking here goes on almost around the clock. After coming off the carousel, cows make their way back to the pens. Each cow consumes about 40 pounds of grain, 50 pounds of silage, and more than 30 gallons of water every day. As you might expect, all of that creates lots of manure. Several times a day, it's vacuumed up and converted into energy in these digesters.
We take the manure off there, turn that into methane gas. That methane gas then powers our generators, which provides electricity for that barn and for all the facilities that we have down here.
And one more note on technology. The cows wear collars with transponders.
As they go onto the carousel, there's a barcoder, just like your grocery store, and that cow is read and her number is read into our records, and so we have a record of how much milk she gives all 3 times that she's milked. In addition, there's also a pedometer on that on the transponder, so we know how many steps that cow took during the day.
Fair Oaks Farm says it eventually plans to welcome 500,000 visitors a year, farmers and city folks.
You know, I'm not a farmer, never, you know, I think only been on a farm maybe once or twice, so this was very eye-opening for me.
It's been by far the most fascinating experience that we've provided.
Gary Corbett's talking about Fair Oaks Farm's birthing barn.
We know of no other facility like this in the United States. They sit there with their mouths wide open and their eyes as wide as can be and watch that process evolve as life is created and a new life comes into this world.
Gary says the farm's approach to agriculture has given them an opportunity, delivering a message with each glass of milk.
We try to get across 3 messages to the visitors coming here. One is that agriculture and the environment are compatible. 2, agriculture and animal welfare are compatible. And 3, milk is good for you. So it is truly a labor of love.
A dairy cow will produce more than 2,000 gallons of milk a year. There are some 9 million dairy cows in the United States. The majority of them are Holsteins.
In America's heartland.
Welcome to Blue Buffalo's. One taste is all it takes.
She won't eat anything she doesn't want to eat. There's no faking it with her.
We sent you Blue Tastefuls dry food.
She loved it.
What's for dinner tonight?
It's Tastefuls from Blue Buffalo for this little girl.
Pick up Blue Tastefuls today.
Hey folks, Chris Coonahan for Leaf Filter, the permanent gutter solution that protects your home in so many ways, it takes more than one Chris to explain it. Am I right, Chris?
That's right, Chris, but together, I think we've got this job covered.
Like Leaf Filter has your gutters covered, keeping out debris like this.
And protecting you from getting up on this thing to clean out your gutters ever again.
And our install process keeps your roof warranty intact. Exactly, Chris. Do you know how else Leaf Filter protects your home?
How's that, Chris?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
Oh, by redirecting water away from your foundation.
Sure, and?
With our lifetime transferable no clogs warranty.
At Leaf Filter, we stand behind our work for as long as you own your home.
Longer, Chris.
Wow, that's huge. How do folks get Leaf Filters? We'd be glad to come out for a free, no-hassle inspection.
To schedule your free inspection, call 833-LEAF-FILTER today or visit leaffilter.com.
Leaf Filter, we're small enough to listen,
big enough to deliver.
The bladder control aisle. You won't shop here again. Your private business is your own. The constant struggle is over. Now there's a better way. It's HDIS. We home deliver bladder control products. We understand how you feel. For over 25 years, we've home delivered to many of the 20 million Americans who deal with incontinence. We offer all brands. We pay shipping and use plain, unmarked boxes. If we can help you or someone you care for, call for your free product sample pack and $45 in money-saving coupons. Our counselors will help you choose the right product. And unlike stores, we're always in stock. You'll get what you need. Satisfaction guaranteed. HDIS, the better way.
For your free sample pack, including free catalog, $45 in money-saving coupons, and free product samples, call 1-800-201-7523. 1-800-201-7523. 1-800-201-7523.
Hello, I'm Chris Berman. If your car is out of warranty or close to expiring, you could get stuck paying thousands. But when you have CarShield, you'll never pay for expensive car repairs again. And that's why I'm a CarShield customer.
Call 800-578-7286.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
In America's heartland.
As you've seen on our programs in the past, not all Heartland farmers are working with soil and crops. Aquaculture is a big player in the world of food production. And in American aquaculture, catfish is king. The whiskered critters account for nearly half of all U.S. fish farming. Jason Schultz went to Mississippi to get a first-hand look at how the pros raise catfish by the millions.
Well, I think one of the more interesting parts of our industry is that we took a local domestic fish. I mean, this is a fish that's native to our area. It's found in all of our streams and all of our lakes. And while we didn't domesticate it, we cultivated a local species. And that fish was already ingrained in our culture.
It's been almost 130 years since Mark Twain brought the pleasures of landing and eating a channel catfish to a public enraptured with Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn.
Through the production, through the processing, we've just made it readily accessible in its finest dining form, I would say now, to all the local citizens and to everyone throughout the U.S.
These days, millions of fans of the whiskered, meaty fish who don't have a hook, line, or lazy afternoon to catch their own depend on farms like this, America's Catch in Itabena, Mississippi. Thousands of acres of man-made ponds where millions of catfish are raised from tiny eggs to entrees. In the heart of catfish country, Mississippi leads America in the production of the country's fourth most popular fish. The state ships 350 million pounds across the heartland every year. Their ancestral home in the muddy shallows of the Mississippi River helped make catfish a perfect fish for farming. Fish farmers say they're a hardy species that can tolerate dense stocking. They spawn easily when conditions are right, yet they stop once they're placed in these so-called grow-out ponds. That gives the farmer control over the whole production process. The fry readily accept manufactured feed and eat heartily for 2 years or so. Once they're grown to 1 to 3 pounds each, it's time for the net. On this hot summer day, it's harvest time at America's Catch.
They'll stretch a net all the way across one end of the pond and up both sides about 50 yards or so, and pull that net to one end of the pond, work all of that concentration of fish into a holding net with a bottom and all on it. At that point, they'll tighten it up and load it with hydraulic boom trucks and scales onto a live haul truck, which has aeration and so forth in the tanks, and haul it to our processing plant where it will be processed today.
But the hundreds of thousands of pounds of catfish have another net to jump through. Her name is Mary.
So I guess it's time for flavor check, huh, Mary?
Yes, sir, it's time.
And what are we tasting for?
We tasting for the all flavor, like the musty, the blue-green.
How does that taste to you?
It tastes good to me.
Tastes like
good fish.
You won't go far in the southern states without seeing catfish on the menu. It's part of the culture, especially fried catfish. But in nearby Indianola, Evelyn Roughton is kicking it up a notch, as a well-known chef might say.
We cook it every way but fried.
So this is being poached right now?
It's being poached, and that brings out some of the oils, and it makes it even a healthier fish because you've got a little bit of the oil out, and it's going to absorb every bit of the butter sauce I'm going to give it. Then we'll take this, throw it under the broiler, and give it a really nice brown sauce. That's just the way we like it.
Look at that.
And see that crustiness in the butter?
Mississippi's catfish farmers are banking on creative cuisine like Evelyn's to spread the fish's popularity in all corners of the heartland. Where this crop is concerned, they say they have plenty more acres to grow on.
Channel catfish and blue catfish are the most commonly eaten varieties in the United States. There are dozens of species of catfish around the world. One European type can grow up to 14 feet in length. And Africa is home to an electric freshwater catfish capable of producing some 350 volts.
In America's heartland.
The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
STEM is the discipline of hard numbers, precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to get messy or just mess it up. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to try. Dare to fail. Dare to keep daring. Dare to learn the difference between organic, sedimentary, and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Get outside. Find those rocks. Dare to be homeroom famous, a high school fable. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. And for the love of STEM, dare bigger. Dare to code. Dare to invent. Dare to explore. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
In America's heartland.
In our most densely populated state, it's no surprise that farmers are feeling squeezed, both in their acreage and in their finances. But the other 8.7 million people in that state are providing answers, innovative ways to keep 500,000 of the last farm acres in the hands of farmers. Pat McConaughey reports from the Garden State.
It's the fun of organic farming. It's all done by hand. I'm third generation here. So I'm walking in rooms and touching things and doing things that I can say, my grandfather did this.
Larry Kuzer farms more than 200 acres in Burlington County, New Jersey's prime agricultural region and the state's largest county. His is a farm rich in family history, and he couldn't be more proud.
One of the things that people don't realize is how much it takes to grow a nice-looking plant.
Larry grows nursery stock and produce, but these days he has more than this year's crop in mind. He wants his farm to be there for future generations of New Jerseyans. But like so many farmers, he's been under intense pressure to sell his land to make way for houses.
I would say conservatively in the 80s that we were solicited by a developer, I would say 5 or 6 times a year. Easily.
Larry resisted and instead applied to the County Agriculture Development Board in 1989 to sell his development easement. When landowners sell development easements, they still own the land but sell the rights to develop it for anything other than agriculture. Those deed restrictions remain for any future owners.
A lot of my friends really thought I was nuts because you give up a lot of money, and why would I want to do that? And I could build houses and sell off lots and do all those kind of things. So I have this weird feeling that I think we should leave something to our children. We should leave something for our grandchildren.
In 1983, the people of New Jersey agreed that saving farmland is good for everyone. They voted to approve a new act called the Agricultural Retention Act. It created a way for the state government and county agricultural boards to work together to save farmland. State officials say they're now confident that 500,000 of the very last 800,000 acres of New Jersey's farmland can be preserved.
Our goal in New Jersey is to preserve a land base that's sufficient in size and quality to support the industry of agriculture into the future.
Kraft says a Rutgers University study shows the state of New Jersey, the most densely populated in the country, would likely build out in another 30 to 50 years if the land isn't kept in agriculture. Not only does the preservation program keep farmers in business, there are other incentives as well.
The other thing that the farmland preservation did for us is it obviously gives us a piece of cash, which significantly allowed me to restructure my debt. Typically, farmers have a lot of debt, but I was able to get rid of a lot of that debt.
That gave Kuzer the resources to expand his operation, growing vegetables to sell directly to the public, starting a children's farm education program, and turning the ancestral home into a bed and breakfast.
While Larry Kuzer has enjoyed the benefits of farm preservation for a number of years, John and Edith Lubick have just gotten into the game. They say it was a big step, but it's one they're glad they made.
We love this place. It's really, really nice. The kids have always been happy here. Aaron has always had horses. John has always had tractors. And, you know, they were always content.
Edith Lubick is talking about her children, now grown, and still involved in the family's 500-acre corn and soybean farm in New Hanover. Like Larry Kuzer, the Lubicks were pressured by developers to sell.
All around us, it's just grown up into developments. And we knew we had to do something. We had talked to one developer, but when you really push comes to shove and you actually think about houses growing on this farm, it's really hard.
Money from the preservation program gives the Lubicks a retirement income they wouldn't have had, and it makes it easier for son John to take over.
We've got a lot of roots that go deep in the farming community, and it's kind of a tradition that we'd like to carry on.
The Lubick farm is part of 186,000 acres the state has preserved so far.
So there is a strong feeling, I think, in the general public, and certainly in New Jersey, that preserving land, preserving farmland, and keeping farmers in business is something worth doing.
The majority of New Jersey farms are less than 100 acres in size, and most are family-owned. True to its name as the Garden State, New Jersey exports nursery and garden plants, as well as fruit and vegetables from orchards and truck farms.
In America's heartland.
Clogged gutters can cause big problems fast. Until now. Call 833-LEAF Filter today for your free gutter inspection.
I've had terrible flooding problems on my porch. Now I understand why.
Right now, Leaf Filter is offering a free inspection on your schedule. Leaf Filter is a permanent gutter solution, so you never have to worry about costly damage from clogged gutters again.
Call us today and schedule your free inspection.
To schedule your free inspection, call 833-LEAF Filter today or visit leaffilter.com.
Attention families with a loved one in a nursing home. If your loved one has suffered from bed sores, falls, broken bones, dehydration, or even death, you may be entitled to a substantial settlement. If you have a loved one who is injured in a nursing home, we will find out what happened. State violations are found against nursing homes every day. You have a limited time to file your claim, so don't wait. Call 800-729-8822 and speak with one of our attorneys. The call is confidential and free.
I'm worried about climate change in so many different ways for my kids that I might start crying if I dwell on it too much. I think that if we come together, pretty much anything is possible.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Close to the land, in America's heartland.
I started crawling around in the trees then, shaking them and grafting them to a different variety and that sort of thing. So I've pretty much been in pecans since I was 9 years old.
Elliot Ellis doesn't crawl in the trees anymore, but pecans are still at the center of his life.
How much water are we putting out, Keith?
Elliot's dad began farming pecans in 35 acres in central Georgia way back in 1944. Today, the farm's grown to 1,200 acres. And Elliot, along with sons Brad and Keith, will harvest pecans from more than 14,000 trees. Georgia grows and processes some 60 million pounds of pecans every year, making it the #1 producer in the nation.
We try to give them quality pecans. We try to have the best quality at the best price. Now, we don't sell cheap pecans, but for the quality we try to sell under everybody else.
After the pecans are shaken from the trees, the Ellis brothers will shell the nuts, then cool them to protect their oils. Research has shown pecans to be high in unsaturated fats. The Ellis family not only farms pecans, but has their own retail outlet, selling pecans and pecan products just off Interstate 75 in Vienna, Georgia.
Make sure you bring your appetite when you come to Ellis Brothers, because you're going to have the opportunity to sample about everything in the place, including Irene's very own special pecan brittle.
Irene was Elliot's mom, who started making pecan brittle as a means to check the moisture content in the shelling operation.
You know, peanut brittle has been around for a long time, but she was making pecan brittle, and I mean, we're talking back in the 30s and 40s.
Today, Keith's wife Tracy can be found in the kitchen, creating one of the farm's signature pecan pies. Have a taste for something else?
We make, at last count, 60-something different products.
The U.S. produces 75 to 80% of the world's pecan crop, generating more than $260 million a year for American farmers. Elliot Ellis says that bodes well for keeping this family farm going for future generations. If you've ever wondered whether it's pecan or pecan...
When I'm talking to a tourist, I like to say pecan, but around to the hip, it's pecans.
In America's heartland.
Earlier, we looked at dairy farming on a mega scale at Indiana's Fair Oaks Farms. Probably not the kind of place you might think to find expert cheesemakers laboring over the minutiae of their trade. But we found a thriving little industry within an industry during our visit.
We make what I'll describe as a European-style artisan cheese.
Gary Corbett is talking cheese, specialty cheeses like those made at the Fair Oaks Farm Cheese Factory. American cheesemakers produce more than 9 billion pounds of cheese a year, and specialty cheeses are a fast-growing segment of the industry.
We make 22 to 24 different style cheeses, Swiss, Havarti, Gouda, real hands-on craftsmanship type cheeses.
Cheesemaker Randy Cranbuell oversees the process, which involves several steps in heating fresh milk, adding ingredients to gel the mixture, then cutting the product into curds. While visitors look on, the freshly cut curds, the initial step, are packed into stainless steel boxes and put on a press where the liquid, or whey, is squeezed out.
At this point, after we put the curds in the boxes, we step up the pressure from 3 to 6 to 12 pounds per square inch over about an hour and a half. We'll let this press overnight. Fermentation is going on, which helps expel the whey. What we end up with is cheddar cheese.
Visitors here get a chance to taste both the curds and finished cheeses, and many of the items on the farm's lunchroom menu feature cheeses made just a few feet away.
You get to be kind of up close and personal in that the viewing area is quite large, and you get to see the whole process evolve right in front of you.
The handcrafted cheeses made here have received both national and international honors at competitions worldwide. Gary Corbett says visitors sample and take away some of their favorites, as well as a greater knowledge of products that come from the farm.
Come out of here with a far different understanding of 21st century agriculture and literally develop this bond between dairy and themselves. That's really been over the top for us.
And that's our show for today. We thank you for watching. I'm Paul Ryan. I hope to see you next time right here in America's Heartland.
So what's the empty suitcase for?
The grand prize trophy.
I was born to be somebody.